Okay, this year's Champions League final has finished in Paris. 1-0 to Real Madrid. They have stolen this game, quite frankly. The game was actually delayed by 35 minutes. There was issues with fans entering the ground, and there was some unsavoury scenes outside that have been circulating on social media now for several hours. When I say unsavoury, the French police like being physically a bit brutal. I don't think there was any actually riot or anything. I think it was generally they could not cope with the crowds trying to get into the stadium, and that delayed the kickoff. I think that's also had a possible impact on this game. Plus, the amount of games both sides have played, I think Real Madrid possibly played the right tactics. Liverpool for the first 40 minutes it was just wave after wave it was almost Real Madrid's goal was under siege, and Courtois has stolen them the game. That first 40 minutes, Liverpool could have been 5 or 6-0 up. Courtois, the best save out of the lot was, there's two good saves really that I think are world class. The save off Mo Salah with his little flick, and the save onto the post from Sadio Mane's bullet of a shot. They're the two best saves I have seen in quite some time. He's stolen in this game. Vinicius Junior, his goal hanging is what's got him his goal from Carvajal's bullet of a cross in the second half, midway through the second half. And we can also discuss the Benzema offside goal that wasn't, and VAR saying it wasn't. But basically, Liverpool have lost this game rather than Real Madrid win it. Although the second half was far more balanced, I will admit this. The second half was far more balanced and a bit more of an open end-to-end affair. Real Madrid opened up a little bit. Real Madrid's tactics in the first half were very negative. But I think with the amount of games, I think both sides have played Liverpool have played 63 games this season. I know Real Madrid have played it well in excess of 50, maybe 55 games, maybe even more. So between the two sides, over 100 and maybe 110 league and cup games between them played. That's a lot of football. I think Liverpool did run out of steam a little bit in the second half. Very, very similar to the FA Cup final, where their intensity did drop off as the game went on. They had to go to penalties in that game. Very similar to the semi-final against Man City in the FA Cup, as well, where first half they blitzed the opposition, and they just met a goalkeeper in Thibaut Courtois who was a brick wall and was standing on his head. Some of the saves Courtois has pulled off today, this evening, are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Any other goalkeeper in the goal, I would say it's 2 or 3 of those chances going. And I'm being fair. There was a period of time, about 10 years ago, where Courtois was seen as the up-and-coming young goalkeeper in the game. Around 2018, when Belgium made the semi-finals in the World Cup, he was seen as the best goalkeeper in the game. He's backed up those, early phases of his career, and that moniker as the best goalie in the game. And Alisson Becker's not a bad shout for a goalkeeper either at the other end. And he had a lot less work to do. Now, the Benzema offside goal, technically, yes, it is offside. And there's a reason for that. Under the lettering of the law and the positioning of the players. The positioning of the players is more key than I think the lettering of the law. Simply because he was technically, and if we've got to draw lines on the screen, then it's not clear and obvious, I will say that. But if you're past the goalkeeper, you need to have 2 players in between the player who is receiving the ball in possession and the goal line. And technically, by the lines drawn on the screen, half of Benzema's body is offside. Now, also by the letter of the law, it has to be an intentional pass through by the opposition player for Benzema not to be offside. And because a Real Madrid player is challenging for the ball, that's the intentional challenge for the ball, as in trying to get the ball through either via shot or pass to Benzema, whereas the Liverpool players, it's unintended ricochets. They're not swinging their leg at the ball or sliding in with a deliberate tackle, but they're basically falling into the ball and pings off them. By the letter of the law of the game, Benzema is offside. The length of that VAR check, though, not that was where all the added time in the first half comes from. The 3 minutes is for that length of VAR check, and the longer it went on without the referee going over the screen at the side of the pitch, likely that the decision on the field is upheld. Now, I said this in the 2018 World Cup, and I said this in the 2019 Women's World Cup, which they experimented with some variational rules that are still in the game. Was they had a good basis for VAR back in 2018. They took a backward step in 2019 with some of the law variations they brought in, some of the rule variations they brought in, which have some still variations and still been tinkered, others have become permanent. And we've gone backwards with VAR. What they need to do, and I've been saying this since day one when the first trials of VAR were being, tried out in the season before the World Cup in 2018, was the referees need to be fully mic'd up. In the sense that we at home, fans viewing, and fans in the stadium, and the players and coaches know what's going on, like they do in rugby union and rugby league. That length of time where they're looking for that offside, now it is the correct decision, and it's confusing how they get there, but it is frustrating. Needs to be improved by FIFA and UEFA and the other, and CONMEBOL and the rest of the governing bodies of the game, and the domestic FAs as well. They do need to sort that out, quite frankly. This is where I think other sports have got that edge with the use of technology. The speed of a decision. If it is a complex decision, they'll break it down phase by phase to see if there's other acts of foul play or offsides or anything that could also rule out a scoring possession, or if there has been an act of foul play, they will go through a couple of phases before. That's where they need to improve VAR. Vinicius Junior's goal, it's just his goal hanging because he never tracked back. He was one of the laziest wingers I have seen, but it pays off. And I'm going to make a comparison with another player who is useless at tracking back and actually hampers the team when he tracks back. And this is where I think keeping Vinicius Junior upfield as a get-out ball for Toni Kroos or Modric to ping a pass to him is a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant idea because Benzema can loiter in between as a foil, as a link. Vinicius Junior's got pace. He's clearly not very good defensively. Ancelotti knows this. He just says to him, stay upfield. Just stay upfield. Paul Pogba. Useless tracking back, can't defend, gives the ball away sloppily in defensive third of the field. But on his day going forward can be brilliant if he's up here. Vinicius Junior is not very good defensively. So Ancelotti and Real Madrid have him in that attacking, just you stay in the opposition's half. Do not track back. You stay upfield. Because that's going to worry the defenders who are going to come forward for corners and free kicks. They're going to want to stay back, which means Van Dijk and Konate, two dangerous threats in the air for Liverpool, are always got one eye over their shoulder for that counter attack. And are they fully committed to that set play going forward? It's a good thing, and he stays up. Carvajal fires that come shot across, and he's in the box because he's been loitering up the other end of the field for the entire phase of play, stretching the defence as well by loitering up there. He's making Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson and Van Dijk and Konate, he's making them very nervous. And he takes his finish very well. One shot, on target, one goal. That's it. This means Liverpool now have to come out and play. They have to get desperate. Courtois is still pulling off the saves. And Real Madrid are now looking a little bit more, okay, we've got this goal. We can get a second. They didn't try and time waste in the corner. They were trying to get that second goal all the way up to the final whistle, which is a very refreshing thing to see. I've noticed this with a lot of teams now. They're not time wasting as much in the corner. Same with Liverpool. They seem to go for the, keep wanting to score 2, 3, 4, 5 when they get that first. I'm now noticing more teams, less time wasting in the corner, trying to push for that next goal, which is refreshing. I like seeing that. It's the right way to play the game. But yes, I will say this. Courtois steals the game, I think, a little bit for Real Madrid. Liverpool has the amount of games they've played, fatigue kicking in now. But Real Madrid didn't really win that game. Liverpool lost it. And it's when they had that first 40 minutes of just all the possession, all the shots, all the chances, and didn't convert a single one of them. Had Mane's shot gone in, or Salah's first flick on gone in, or that header a lot of hypotheticals here. Real Madrid have to chase the game. Real Madrid are forced to chase the game. They get the goal. They go in front. 30 minutes left. Liverpool have to chase the game. And Liverpool aren't as good at chasing a game as leading a game. But I'm surprised by the low-scoring nature of this final, though, with the scoring ability on the field. That does surprise me. And Real Madrid do give up a lot of chances, and they did tonight. They are a very open team defensively. Yet somehow they manage to hang in games. And the longer it stays 0-0 or tight, Real Madrid pull things out of the bag. But that's 14 Champions League or European Cup wins now. Liverpool stuck on 6. And even so, Liverpool, pretty successful side in this competition, one of the top 4 or 5. But Real Madrid, they keep adding to that record. It's like Man United with the Premier League with 13 titles. Real Madrid with the Champions League with 14 titles. At some point, their dominance, a team will equal them at some point, chase them down. It won't happen for a very, very long time. Maybe not even in our lifetimes. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the final in the comment section below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.